Hello, hello, and welcome back to Childcare Confidential. My name is Katy Dank.
Hello, and I'm Jessica. Welcome to Childcare Confidential. We're going to start today by telling you about our Vault coaching program that has launched in June. Whoop, whoop. We're very excited about it. It's been a dream for probably a couple years in the making with Katy and I. But we feel like everybody needs a place where they can come and talk freely about what is going on in their school and get some ideas on how to solve those things. But we want to walk through everything with coaches, with directors, with administrators, with owners, just to kind of make sure you have the support that you need. That was something that I struggled with in all of my childcare career. There wasn't a lot of coaching out there at the time. And so we want to make sure that nobody is alone in their administrative duties in early childhood. So we hope that you will join us. Make sure to check out our website at childcareconfidential.com. There's a lovely tab at the top that says The Vault, and it'll show you on there how to get signed up.
Woohoo!
So hope you come join us. It's going to be great. We've got a couple of directors and some owners in the program right now, and we're really excited about it. So all that to tell you about the Vault, but let's get started with what we are talking about today.
Woo-hoo.
So on today's podcast, we're talking about unlearning. Unlearning the habits and beliefs that we held on to quietly ended up hurting our business. And it was hard to let them go, but you have to let some of that go.
I'm glad you're saying it now, Jess. Say it more for the people in the back.
Tell you what, it took a minute to get there.
No, I feel like more so this is not changing like what we do in the day-to-days. It's just changing how we think and our mindset. Yeah. It's messy, it's personal, and it's been the backbone of how we've grown this entire time, whether it's in your career, your profession, or even just in life.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about why unlearning beats hustling harder. Oh, that's a hard one for this girl because I'm a hustler. I got to get it done, got to get checked off my list. I love a good list.
You do love a good list.
But I used to think that growth was all about adding more. More hours, more offers, more platforms, all of the things. I just needed to work harder, right?
No.
But the big unlocks came from actually subtracting some things.
What? You can do that?
Hard to believe. Subtracting things frees up time, clears your mind, all the good things.
It's weird. I guess I'm in the same boat. There's the stuff that looks productive on the outside, like my late night emails. I'm so bad about that. Saying yes to every opportunity, but that's actually called avoidance. You should have those boundaries.
Oof, yes. We've all been in that avoidance stage for sure. That's one that's hard to get through sometimes. Especially with that hard conversation with the director or a staff person that you may need to have. I like to avoid those sometimes too.
I do. I very much like that.
Not good leadership, but we'll get there. It's all a learning process, right?
Right.
So let's each name one belief that we had to unlearn just to set the stage.
Okay. Well, so this one I'm unlearning still currently. I wouldn't say I've mastered it just yet, but busy equals valuable. I thought I had to constantly be going 100 miles an hour in order to be considered valuable or like wanted or needed. No. But if I wasn't exhausted, then I just felt guilty, like I wasn't doing enough.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I think that part of our culture in America too just tells us the busier you are, the better you are. And it's okay to like take a breath.
Is it? Is that okay?
It's okay to block out things in your calendar so that you have a minute to like actually get that creative idea you've been trying to get for months. But mine is probably that good leaders have all the answers. Yeah. Okay. Admitting uncertainty kind of felt like failure to me. And I had to learn the hard way sometimes that you don't always have to have all the answers.
I feel like that needs a moment of silence just in itself, because how many, I can raise my hand, I know this, but how many of us expect that we are supposed to have every answer for everything that has ever happened within our schools at every single moment of every day? I know that
Yep.
I am in the mode, so I understand, Jess. I
Oh,
fully
yeah.
understand.
Yeah, I had to get to the point where I could say, let me get back to you with the answer
Oh, I
and be
love
okay
that.
with that.
Yeah,
The be okay with that was the hard part.
Jess and I were just having a conversation actually this morning. So I don't
Mhm.
know about the rest of our listeners who may be hearing all of this good stuff right now, but Jess and I have conversations every Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, sometimes Friday mornings, depends. But we just kind of go through and I ask her all the things that are popped up in my brain. And sometimes she's like,
Mhm.
I actually don't know that right now, but I'm going to find out and I'm going to get back to you. I
Yep, I
so
took down
appreciate
that little note. Make sure you follow up, though. That's key.
yeah, yeah.
Eventually, you do have to have an answer.
But between both Jess and I's fact that we're unlearning these things, both
Mhm.
of us were wrong. We were just utterly and completely wrong. You do not have to be
Yep.
productive to be valuable, and you do not have to have every single answer every single time that you are supposed to. You don't.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But this is where we kind of dive into a little bit deeper of the secondary part for this, which is the unlearning personal habits that actually hurt your business. We started with kind of our key characteristics of what that looks like, but we're going to go a little bit deeper. So I'll go first. You know, you're welcome, Jess.
Oh,
But
thanks.
a habit I had to unlearn is reactive mornings. I am notorious for it.
Oof.
But I'd wake up, I'd open up my phone, and then I'd let other people's priorities set my day. Like somehow that was my burden to carry. Why? I don't know.
Oof. Oof. I probably still do that a little bit to where I have to go, wait a second, you already had something planned for today. You don't have to move everything to make something else happen. But what did you replace it with, Katie?
I gave myself a 45-minute buffer. And a lot
Okay.
of people aren't going to think that 45 minutes sounds like a lot, but it really is. That's your mental time to create the
Mhm.
mindset that you want for your day. What a blessing.
Yes.
Um, I don't look at my inbox. I look at three things every morning during my buffer. What matters most today for me, whether it be personal or professional, what is
Mhm.
actually in my control? That's a big one.
Oof, that's a good
I
one.
know. Nobody likes that though. You
No.
can't actually change things that aren't in your control. But
Yep.
and what can wait? I'm also a list
Mm.
person. Jess and I have very similar attributes in that capacity.
That's why we work
Um,
so well together.
But that what can wait, that one made everything just less chaotic. It
Mm.
gave you that mental pause before things start getting crazy because you know they do in childcare.
Yes, they do, and they do quickly. So,
What about
okay,
you?
hear me out, childcare owners. Hear me
Okay.
out. And
Okay.
directors, administrators, you'll feel this too. Mine was over owning absolutely everything.
Gasp.
I know. Katie and I actually just talked about this morning too, a little bit.
We did.
But if a project kind of wobbled or didn't quite get done when it was supposed to, because maybe they put it on their it can wait list, and I was like, no, it's got to get done. Um, I would have a habit of swooping in and saving it. The
Mm.
team learned through that to wait for me, which in fact caused bottlenecks in our system. This habit that I was in, and for a very, 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 very long time, meant if we were understaffed,
Mm-hmm.
I would go back to the school. And I actually became the school age teacher at one point and would come in the afternoons. I didn't sit up front because I didn't want to mess up the flow of the administration and everything. But before
Mm-hmm.
I knew it, doing one bus run became into being the school age teacher, which became into you're irreplaceable. And all of a sudden, I found myself in a school age teaching position while trying to run a company.
What?
And not that I didn't love every second of it, because if you know me, I love teaching, and that's kind of how all this came about for me.
Right.
But
But
they're right. I was irreplaceable until I wasn't.
irreplaceable.
And nobody was going to replace me until I said, okay, enough is enough. This has been a whole school year.
I will say too, though, Jess, with this, I have to toot your horn just a minute. Okay. All right, so we just recently got over our spring program. Okay. Our spring program is one of our biggest events all year round. We look forward to it. Our parents do. We rent out the fairgrounds. It's a whole shebang, right?
It is. It's huge.
Now this gets to be my baby because I get to run our schools and Jess helps on the back end, but I get to be more of like a boots on the ground. So I get to do those types of things, which I'm super grateful for. But we had a little bit of an issue with one of the slideshows because, again, we go all out, right? It's got to be top tier. Had an issue with the slideshow. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Jess, like I can't figure it out. I'm going to implode because technology and me do not like mesh super great. So I'm like, Jess, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm going to lose it. And I fully expected because, previously, but I expected to message her and be like, Jess, I'm struggling. I don't know what to do. You need to help me, save me. And I get one text back, like one singular, like very crisp text that says, I'm not doing that. You've got this. If you still struggle at the end, let me know, but I think you can do it. She stepped back, hands off. She said, you got this. That was a very pivotal moment for us, I feel like.
Yes. Really I know it didn't make you very happy in the moment.
I said things under my breath. Don't worry.
I am sure, because I was like, oh gosh. Well, and so that started with our slideshow was done like a month ahead of time. It was good to go. We thought it was good to go. And I had already reworked it. So when I handed it back over, I said, okay, here's where it is. This is the end for me on this.
You were very
If anything else needs done, you're going to have to do it. But typically, if Katy brought that to me, I would go back in and redo it. I'd be flustered and like, why am I spending time doing this? I have so many things to do.
Right.
But I would do it. And so this time it was really like, okay, Jess, you've been teaching this. You have been walking through this. You have to put that boundary in place or you're going to keep feeling the way you are, which is a little overwhelmed at times.
But
and so, it was pivotal for us, I think.
It turned out beautifully. And honestly,
I'm super grateful. You did a great job.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You did. Mm-hmm. You didn't need me anyway. But I would have done it and and
right.
That also took away the opportunity for you to be like, I did this successfully.
Right. Well, I mean, we're a team, so I don't ever say I. It's always we. But I agree. I agree with you. Yes. Okay. But just within this, and the reason I feel like we went so in depth with it is the unlearning. There's trusting people before it feels comfortable. That's hard to do.
Yes.
Jess is very not
very
easy
hard for me.
Yeah, she doesn't like trust. She doesn't like that word. She would love to have more of it. But
yeah. Trust is a hard one for me at times. Sometimes I feel like you have to earn it, but that's not necessarily the case. I think that we hire people for positions and that has to come with a level of trust in the hire.
True.
So
that's true.
But anyway, exactly. Moving on from my tangent to there, I shifted from answering questions to asking questions. So I started saying things like, well, what options do you see? How can we make this at least 20% better? Or if somebody comes to you with a problem, well, what would be your solution for this problem? And it's training your team to think for themselves, but it's also slowed me down a little bit from maybe having to jump back in. It's giving them more of the tools to do it better themselves.
No, I completely agree with you, Jess. I mean, wholeheartedly, I understand. But I would say that your calendar and how you plan accordingly is your culture. Like that is the pivotal aspect of how you're going to make your culture the best that it can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important to like when you know you have a serious meeting, like we have a meeting later today that I'm going to want some time to like process after,
Right. Uh-huh.
I'll put that in my calendar because if it's not on my calendar or I haven't extended the meeting to give myself some space, people are going to want my attention right away. And it's just not real if it's not on the calendar. And all of our admin team can see my calendar and availability.
And
So
she does put
I have to
everything on
put
there.
those in there. Yeah.
Yeah, she really loves the calendar, don't worry. It's
I
color coded
do. I
too.
love a good
Yeah.
calendar. It keeps everything so organized. I would have way more tabs and calendars set up if I wouldn't get stressed out looking at them.
That overwhelms me just you saying it, but that's fine. Okay. All right, we're diving deeper now into unlearning business myths, which is always my
Mm.
favorite, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, first myth. Here we go. More offerings. If I offer more, that means more revenue, right?
Oh, yeah, no. No.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
dang.
Um, so that is a big problem in our field too, I think, because we do believe that to an extent. However, what we're doing is we're spreading ourselves way too thin across too many services when
What?
we do things like that.
It's crazy.
You know, the sales calls that we would do were like therapy sessions trying to fit people into all the wrong boxes. And, you know, I hate a good sales
Ooh,
call.
I know
Um,
you do. I know you do. You don't like it
but
at
I
all.
think, you know, for instance, we're with ADP for our payroll, and we
Mm-hmm.
have been with them for like well over a decade, but they are a company that always tries to sell you more.
Oh yeah.
And I have had to say, like, no, stop calling me. I want nothing else from your company but just to run my payroll. And you'd think that was hard, but I've had to kind of be bold at times to say, like, enough
I
because
like
I'm
that
already
B
your
word that you
customer
use.
and I'm about to not be your customer if you keep offering me all these different options I don't need or want.
Right. No, I agree. And even if you're not one that, like, maybe you're a director listening and maybe you're
Yep.
not doing payroll, so to speak, because you're in a corporate, that's fine too. It also can kind of make sense in the fact that we have like soccer shots and crouching
Mhm.
tigers and stretch and grow and all these amazing
Yep.
outside companies trying to come in. And of course, I want to offer that to all of my families. I would love that. But
Yes.
when you do that, you take away from the program that we've worked so hard to build. This should be an enhancement and not something that takes place of. And I think sometimes people really kind of forget that step, and we
I love
shouldn't.
what you said there.
Okay.
Enhancement.
Mm-hmm. I love a good
Programs
enhancement.
like that should enhance what you're already offering.
Exactly.
I like that a lot.
Thanks, bud.
Let's talk about like if it was like with food program, maybe.
Oh, gross. Okay. Okay.
Or,
Not
you know,
gross.
not necessarily if you're not on food program, maybe it's your grocery budget.
Listen, we love food program. We're not trying to dog it at all. However, if any of our listeners who are on food program, you understand how much time and energy that takes. So I just have to make sure that you know what we're talking about. It's exhausting.
Yes,
We love it.
it
It's
is.
exhausting.
It is. It
Okay.
is.
But we
Absolutely.
meant more so that if we cut 40% of our menu cost, right? So we're trying to make that make sense, fit into a tight knit budget. Revenue dipped for
We've been
60
there.
days and then rebounded higher with better margins at the end of it. That's not necessarily a give and take that you have to do. And sometimes I feel like it's finding the common ground that's going to make the most sense for your business. It's not a one
Yes.
size fit all.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that's part of why the vault and the coaching is so big too, is because everybody's program is a little bit different.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if it wasn't, we would just have like some national corporate childcare program covering all the schools, right?
Right.
But we all offer something a little bit different. So you get that individualized coaching with the vault stuff too.
I agree.
Which I think is really important because my program is not running like the program down the street. We have different things that we have different enhancements.
Thank you. It's going to be the word of the
You know?
day. I can feel it.
Word of the I love a good word of the day. Enhancements. What about myth 2? This
Ooh.
is one of my favorites as far as myths. The customer is always right.
Ew, that made me throw up in my mouth a little bit, in the
Huh.
words of childcare, just saying.
It is hard to put that in a childcare setting, but honestly, we've all dealt with parents
Some
that
different
think
parents than
they
others.
are correct all the time, and not saying that every parent is like that, but we've had the few that they
Mhm.
wanna tell us that they're correct, and we're going, "Um, I appreciate your opinion, but we actually went to school for this." Like, "Let me help
I
you."
will I will say, so the customer is always a signal, right? Of course, you gotta have
Mhm.
customers in your business,
Yep.
but sometimes the signal is we're just not meant for each other, and that's okay.
Yes, yes. We are big on that. When we give tours, I like to tell anybody that comes in for a tour all about our state quality system and what we offer. And usually at the end of the tour, I will say, if you have any questions about how the state's licensing works or the quality rating system or anything that we can help you with, we want to help you find the right child care for your child, even if we are not the right fit.
Mm,
So I think that's important because we're not going to be the right fit for everybody.
that is
Right?
so accurate.
We're a little bit different in some of the enhancements that we offer. And so I'm just gonna keep using that word.
I'm here for it. You do it,
And
girl.
so, yeah, I mean, so we're not all alike, and that's important. When we started saying a clean no to
No.
misaligned work, we actually got fewer support fires and better testimonials from the families that were the right fit for our program versus getting information or testimonials that might not be a good fit for your program.
100%. And just like what Jess was just saying, I want to touch on that just a little bit, right? Because
Sure.
sometimes the customer is not always right. I do not care what you say. I will argue with you until I'm blue in the face, especially in the world of childcare. No, that is not
Oof.
true. I also think it's really important to mention that no is a full sentence and it doesn't have to be more or less than that. It can simply be no. I
Yep.
have parents that are like, well, I want to drop off little Johnny at 1 p.m. after his doctor's appointment. I'm so sorry, ma'am, but we went into great detail about our handbook, and that is during nap time, and we are not going to disrupt our other friends who are trying to sleep. So the answer is
Oh,
no.
yes.
Our parents
Yes.
know it. I mean, I don't feel like we have pushback because we are so upfront. We tell them that, but that's
Right.
why
They
we
know
hit
what
it
to
so hard during the
expect.
tour. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Um,
it's important, and it's okay to say no with your families or with your team if it's
mm,
not aligned to your program.
not the
Mhm,
team
mhm.
too. Hit them, Jess. Hit them.
I'm just saying.
But yes, I do agree. All right, here we
Yep.
go. Myth number 3. Jess is gonna love this one. I'm so excited. It's data over everything. Always,
Not
always the data.
data,
The data.
not data.
I
Ooh,
do
that's
love
a
a good
hot
data.
take.
Yeah, I mean
I
it
love
is.
data.
It is a hot take because data is essential. But sometimes I feel like we use it to hide. We overanalyze small sample sizes instead of calling a customer. I don't
Oof.
actually care if Jenny called me 2 weeks ago and the system tells me I'm not supposed to follow up except for every other week to see what they need or how I can help them. Wrong,
Yeah.
incorrecto.
Yeah.
My brain data says you should just call them right now.
I love that, my brain data. Um, so our new rule at our school is if the data's unclear, talk to 5 humans before talking to another dashboard. So
Not ChatGPT. That does not count.
no,
Real
no.
humans.
Me and Charlie get a lot done. She's my chat GPT queen. But I do not need Charlie necessarily or chat GPT to tell me
Mhm.
what's going on in my programs. I look at the director's reports each week. And if I have questions, I actually go talk to a human to
What?
get those answers.
You're crazy.
I know. Who would have thought talking to a human?
I do think it's important though too. If you have a team that you truly like fully trust, right?
Yeah.
And they do all the data for you, maybe you do have a weekly director's report like we have that we're able to analyze week after week to see the statistics. Great. But if you're not actually having the conversations to make sense of the data that's written in those, like you basically
Mhm.
are getting half of
What's
the
the
story.
point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like why?
What's the point? Your data's not working for you.
It might be.
Right.
You just might not be able to interpret it because you don't talk to real people.
Well, good point. Good point. Especially for owners that aren't in the schools too. I think that's been a big transition for us over the last couple of years. Me stepping further and further away from the schools, but still doing behind the scenes work. And so a lot of what I depend on is the data. Um, but I can't read somebody's tone through what they're writing on a screen, and so it's important to take that human side of it too and really make sure that you're using your data appropriately and you understand it and ask the questions. Otherwise, it's
Ooh.
pointless.
Yes, please ask questions. Don't assume.
You know.
Always ask questions. Always.
Yes, it is okay to ask questions. Let's talk about the emotional side of letting go.
Do we have to?
Oof. This one was a tough one for me, y'all. But unlearning can feel like losing part of your identity.
How's that feel, Jess?
Uh, it feels about right. It feels about right. Stepping back is never easy. But it's necessary at times.
No, I
Let's put it
agree.
that way.
I agree. Before we dive deeper into this, I do want to say, so Jess and I had this game that we played, right? So we've been working together for a few years now, and at the beginning, Jess was our owner, right? Yay, owner, woo! We don't call her that anymore. Not that she's
No.
not. We call her our founder because she gave us the pieces to make the business successful and gave us the tools in order to use them appropriately to build. She didn't just do it for us. And not saying that if you call yourself an owner that you are doing those things. But
Right.
that's the mindset shift that we were talking about. As soon as you
Mhm.
started deciding that you are going to be the one that leads us to give us the tools to be successful, we were able to use those tools to continue building that legacy that you started so long ago. So I
I
do.
love that.
I know. I'm just
Love
out
that.
here enhancements all around, right?
I love it. And it's given me time to step back and do some of the more creative things, like along with the podcast or the vault
Mhm.
coaching. Like
Yeah.
I've gotten an opportunity to do things that may have been on my list for years that nobody had the time to touch or do.
Yeah.
So that's
No.
important.
It is.
You have to have time to be creative and to think of new ideas. And if you're out there running your systems every day, you're working in your business and not on your business is going to feel it.
Ooh, wait, can we repeat that just one time? I loved that. One more.
Yes. If you
Okay.
are working in your business
Uh-huh.
instead of on your
Mm.
business is going to feel it. And that is from
Woo.
firsthand experience,
No, I
guys.
love that. Okay, snaps for you, girl. Okay. I'm done with my tangent now. You're welcome, Jess. But when we were talking about losing parts of your identity, I feel
Mm.
like that's especially important as far as the parts that like got you here in this position, right? So my hustle got me off the ground, like in the field, doing all the things, but letting it go felt like betrayal almost because you work so hard and you want to have all the control and you want to just direct traffic in every way. And
Mm.
you can't do that, unfortunately.
No, you can't. I know I felt a lot of that same way with stepping back from our school. It was like, well, I worked so hard on this.
Right.
I put in so much work, blood, sweat, and tears. And so letting it go would feel like I'm just betraying it. And so I totally get that. I've definitely worked through some of those emotions myself in the last year.
Yeah.
I had to grieve being the fixer. And understand that my ego wasn't needed because really me
Ooh.
being the fixer was all about me wanting to solve the problem, my ego, not
Mm.
actually helping the business.
Okay. I love that though.
Mm.
And I love the fact that you're able to take yourself out of like the immediate feeling side of it to see the
Yeah.
perspective, like looking back. Like that's so refreshing. I feel like there's so many people who can't do that, you know?
Yeah, that definitely didn't come naturally at first.
At least you're honest, I guess.
Took a lot of years.
But what helped me would be like naming the season. This is my favorite. You ready, Jess?
Oh, yeah.
So early stage Katy, which would be like me when I first came over yonder to you. Okay. I did my
Yeah,
job.
I remember early stage
Okay.
Katy.
Calm down. Calm down. But I did my job and I was happy, bubbly, go happy. It's fine.
Yeah.
Builder Katy, though, that's my stage I'm in right now. And I have a different job, right? My previous job was I'm here, I'm at your beck and call. I will do anything and everything. But Builder Katy, I have new tools. I'm the same person, but I have new tools in order to use them effectively. And I get the beautiful task of giving my team those same tools and delegating. I have struggled with that my whole career in leadership until recently. But delegating is important. It is. I know.
You don't say.
I'm better now. Leave me alone.
You don't love delegating? What?
I'm a control freak. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Yeah, I get that. I know when we had first moved and I had been working on really going remote for like the first actual time to where like I couldn't just run up to the schools any chance I got. I actually put sticky notes around my whole house that were like encouraging words of affirmation. So like the one on the bathroom would say, "You're beautiful," and then it would be something about like your mindset and making sure you're having a positive day. So, yeah, one of the things that I would say out loud to myself, because I would say them out loud when I'd read them, was, I trust the team to own the outcome.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, I trust the team to own the outcome.
Yeah, you do.
We are very, very big at our schools about if you make a mistake, you need to tell somebody and do everything with integrity, because we can't help you if you try to hide it and don't own it. But that also means that you have to own the outcome of what happened. And I think that is the biggest key, because so many times when we get burnout or we start to feel a little too stressed out, we start to pull back.
Yeah.
And maybe at times people might hide or misrepresent some actual information that is needed.
Mm-hmm.
And, they have to own that, because if they don't own it, that's not true leadership. And, you're building leaders for your schools, whether that's your administration team or your teaching team, and teachers are pouring into the kids. And so that's needed to be done with integrity too, and making sure we're owning the outcome. And there's been times where somebody has owned the outcome and I'm like, yeah, I still don't love that idea, but okay.
She's actually talking about me, just so you all know. She's talking about me owning the outcome so bad.
If you're not watching the video, you're missing me nodding my head up and down right now.
It's really fun. It's fine. But also, right? Yeah, own it, of course. The accountability, right? That's the huge piece of like owning it. I ask this specifically of Jess, and Jess asks this specifically of me, but we ask each other to call out the old patterns kindly.
Yes.
And my keyword, kindly, Jess, thank you so much.
Sandwich that baby.
I'm a sensitive lad, but I do love a good feedback. So you can tell me, just don't yell at me.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I have, with previous directors and with Katy, I've used safe words. So one of my old directors, when we were getting ready for some big spring program accreditation, one of the crazy things we do, who knows? We were like working on top of each other and over each other and trying to get all this stuff done. And finally it was like, okay, we need a code word. So our code word back then was scissors. Yep. Listen, it was the first thing on the desk that we saw. And we said, how about scissors?
Okay.
So
scissors. I like it.
If one of us said scissors, we knew that was code for the other one to walk away and give that person a moment.
Okay.
Before we get into it. So sometimes, you might use a code word like scissors.
Okay.
Or one with Katy and I, legacy mode.
Oh, I like that. Yes, I do enjoy that.
If one of us starts slipping out into one of our old habits, maybe we just say it. There's no judgment. We want to make each other better. And I think if you come from everything with the right perspective, it's easier to hear words like kindly telling somebody they're slipping into their old patterns.
I agree. Our legacy mode, that's our safe word that we use, which I still think it's weird that we tell other people we have safe words because it just does not align with what we're talking
We're gonna
about.
get so many legacy mode comments.
But anyway, so our legacy mode though, I feel like it saved us from so much resentment over the course of the last few years together because we just know. Like when I don't know how to delegate, well, I do know how to, but when I choose not to delegate, you'll be like, no, we're not doing that. Legacy mode.
Is that what you should be doing right now? Or is that what you are doing right now?
Okay, whatever.
But I love that because you're open, you're honest, and you're really talking about some things that you've really dealt with in the field. And so am I. And I think that's where this podcast is really important. We're putting it out there so that people don't feel alone.
Right. Like we had all those years because you don't have anyone to complain down to because as the very tippity top of the pyramid, there's no one but you.
Yep. Exactly.
Unless you join the vault. And then, I mean, you would have lots of friends to talk to about all the things. Yes.
Should definitely join the vault.
You should. Okay. This kind of just drives us right into our practical playbook, my favorite thing. But this is how we're going to unlearn on purpose. Okay.
Ooh, yes. I love a good structure. So if you love a good structure too, here is what we use.
All right. Step 1, spot the pattern. Okay. Use your eyeballs, spot it. Where are you getting repeatedly stuck? Is it late projects? Is your team overwhelmed and frazzled? Is that culture not there? Are you having issues with sales and enrollment? Like, what is it that you're really struggling with?
Yeah, I think, and it can be more than one thing at a time. That's for sure. But you want to name the belief underneath. So for like an example, if I don't review everything, quality will tank.
Ooh, I feel like you're talking to me directly and I don't appreciate it, just so you know.
Me too, girl. Cause I'm like, did I review that report this week? Maybe somebody will notice if I didn't get it reviewed in time,
Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. But that kind of goes into the step 3. So you've already done the naming the belief. Now you're going to run the controlled experiment, right?
Yep.
For 2 weeks, you're going to delegate one category with very clear expectations and outcomes and what the definition of done is. I cannot stress enough that you have to have the definition of done or your staff are going to be like, I didn't know.
Oh, yes. And make sure it's in writing, y'all. It's just easier to look back at for people. I'm a visual learner.
Yep.
So writing does help. Videos help, which is why we do the podcast on video too. But for sure. And to be honest, sometimes when I think about the controlled experiment that we'll do, I think about the way I would write a prompt into Charlie, my chat GPT queen.
Okay. Queen.
And you have to be very specific when you put in an AI prompt, right?
Yes.
And so you need to do that with your team too. Make sure you are writing out like, keep working until this is complete. And exactly what it is. And when you want it complete, make sure you're making those SMART goals, something that is measurable and has a stop point on it. Don't just throw out, well, I really just need you to do this training. Well, when, where, what, and why?
How do I get to it?
Exactly. You need to make sure you are giving all the information in those controlled experiments for sure. And add the guardrails. That does not mean to micromanage. Coming from a micromanager at times.
That's me.
Add those guardrails. Make sure you set the boundaries of where you want this to go, but let people think for themselves. They might not do it the exact way you would. And trust me, that took me a long time to get over too. But you can have your milestone check-ins. Make sure that you're not actually live stroking every keystroke, but checking in, I think, is more important for sure.
I agree. Okay. Step 5, you're going to debrief in public. This is like we have our directors meetings where we get to sit and kind of rehash whatever the event was,
Yep.
what worked, what didn't, what we should change. I feel like it should become normal to allow your team to have input in things that are happening within your schools.
Yes, I agree. I think it's important to get feedback whenever you're doing something like that, for sure. And your team is your boots on the ground. You want to know what is happening. Even though I can guesstimate all I want, I'm not in the building every day from 6 to 6. They are. So they're going to have that information for you. But make sure you institutionalize like the new habit. Make sure you document the process. Put it on your calendar because we love a good calendar.
We do love a good
And
calendar.
tie it into your metrics. Tie it into your systems. This is how we do it, right?
I agree. And then finally, our step 7, kill the zombie. That means stop doing it. Stop doing that bad habit. Just make it be gone. But you're going to remove the old habits, the triggers. You're going to save the templates. You're going to unsubscribe to the things that no longer benefit you. Delete it all. Start fresh.
Delete it all.
Exactly.
It's so funny because, sometimes we think doing more is more, but actually doing less is more sometimes. It's definitely a better leadership technique than trying to do it all yourself because that's going to just bring quick burnout.
I agree.
You're a team for a reason.
Speak it more into back.
Yes, girl. And while we're talking about leadership training, go to childcareconfidential.com and click that little vault tab up the top. It'll give you just a form you can fill out to get more information. And we are also now on Padia, and I'm excited because we're going to do a couple of videos to show you some of the products that we've put out there for everybody to have access to and use. And if you're a part of the vault, you get those for free. So,
woohoo!
Yes, yes. All right. Well, we appreciate you all for tuning in, supporting us week after week. I know sometimes we get on here and just ramble about the things that are important to us, but we also want to hear from you and what's going on in your schools, in your state right now. So please, please, please make sure to comment and tell us what is going on or send us a message. We love hearing from others and staying connected in the field.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. Well, that's it for me. Is that it for you, Katie?
That's it for me today.
All right. Well, we will see you next time on Childcare Confidential. Have a great day, everybody.